Hello and a very good afternoon from me. It's been a very long time since I've done one from the comfort of my gaff, if you want to call it that. Anyway, so my sister's just now been picked up. She's got a hospital appointment for an MRI, and they cut it a bit fine. The appointment is at 20 minutes to 2, and I believe they got here sometime after 1. Normally they come slightly earlier. So just the preliminaries, it was really funny because this isn't what the video is about, but this is just my warm-up act. So anyway, it was really funny because the 2 Jamaican guys came to pick her up wearing the masks, and because obviously I don't look 55. I'm 55 next month. I know I don't look it. So, and obviously because of my stature, I'm a small person, and people judge you by the externals and obviously what comes out of your mouth. So I was at the window watching, waiting for them to pull up, and then I just sort of prepared my sister and met them on the balcony, on the landing. So I'm there dressed like this. This is going in the washing machine shortly, and then I'm going to take the opportunity and pamper myself. So I'm going to do my face and have a long bath in Epsom salts when I'm done. So that should take me about 2 hours before my sister gets back. So that's going to be my little thing that I had planned out that I was going to do. But I did intend chucking in a video, which I should have done yesterday, but because it's snowing and I don't do snow, I don't do ice. So for as long as it's snowing and there's the potential of ice, I'm not going outside. So if it takes a week, I'm not going outside. If it takes 2 weeks, I'm not going outside, because I live risk-free. I've never broken a bone, and I don't intend to fall over and do that. But speaking of falling over, I fell over this morning in the kitchen. So I was making my sister a cup of tea, but prior to doing that, I decided to sterilize her cup. And so I boiled the kettle, just enough water to fill the cup, and it's a plastic cup, to fill that and to sterilize the thing. So I've decided, because I'm a novice, I've never done this before, so I've put the hot water in there and I'm shaking, and the lid came off and the hot water went all over me. So for a while I thought I was going to have a burn mark on my neck because it went on my face and everything. But so I kind of self-preservation, because one doesn't want to ruin one's face and all of that, presence of mind. So I kind of fell and, everywhere, landed on all the washing because I was loading up the washing machine. So here I am. I don't have any scarring. I'm fine. But so I've learned something today. Never put boiling hot water in a plastic cup with a lid and shake it, because the chances are it can fly off in your face. And I could have been sitting here with burn marks all over me. So that was my little cautionary tale for this morning. So anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I am here to talk about service, how we serve one another. And I will come from the standpoint of talking about compassion. Now, I said I'm very much into doing unto others as I would have done unto me. But the only thing is, there's nothing that anybody can do to me or for me that would be as extreme as what I would do to myself. So if I was to treat people how I treat myself, everybody would hate me, because they would think I'm being harsh, I'm being cruel. But if I'm harsh and cruel to myself, and we are supposed to treat others as we would be treated, then that's the treatment, right? So sometimes people get the treatment. Now, last night when on a Sunday, it's a different carer who comes. The usual one comes Monday to Saturday, including Saturday, and then 2 others come on a Saturday. So what am I talking about? On a Sunday, to cover for her, because Sunday is her day off. So of course it was snowing yesterday. So when the first carer comes, she covers morning and afternoon. So when she came in the morning, I told her not to come in the afternoon, because that's me showing compassion. Because it's snowing, it's cold, and if I can, You see, when you're doing service or you're having compassion on people, it's supposed to make a difference to them, right? It's not supposed to make a difference to you. It's supposed to make a difference to them because it's about them, not about you. So the one who came in the morning, I told her not to come back in the afternoon. And then the one who came in the evening, it was already 8 o'clock and she still had 4 more clients to go and see. So I said to her, had I known, I would have told you not to come, because she said she actually fell over and she hadn't hurt herself, but she was traveling more carefully, so she was going slower. So what I said to her, in future, if you are very busy, don't come, because I'm here anyway. And whether I'm working or not, like I said, service, I don't care that somebody's being paid to do something. They are a human being. And so that is how I treat people. I consider their needs. I don't think about how it's going to affect me. I think about how it's going to affect them. So she took my number. So she will call me on Sunday if she's running behind or if she's got too much to do. And I will take care of it so she doesn't have to come. Similarly, this morning with the regular carer who comes Monday to Saturday, I said to her, because I'm the caring, compassionate type, even though I don't wear it on my sleeve, I told her not to come back because my sister was having an appointment this afternoon anyway, so she wasn't going to be here. And I told her not to come back this afternoon or this evening. I can take care of it. And she thanked me very much, because it's treacherous out there. It's snowing. The snow has settled. It's going to turn to ice. And if I don't want to be outside in it, then why should somebody else? Why should somebody have to go through that? If it's something that I can do, it's different if they had to come and give my sister injections or something, because that's something that I don't like, injections for myself. And it's not something I could do for someone else, even in an emergency situation. I just don't like needles, which is ironic because I sew and I'm always stabbing myself with needles and with pins. With regulation, I draw blood with pins. I've even, one time I actually managed to get my finger underneath the sewing machine, so the needle in the sewing machine ran right through my finger. So you would think that I would be used to having needles stuck in me, but I'm not. And like I said, similarly, it's not just for me, it's for other people. I wouldn't inject someone. So unless it was that situation, then of course they would need to come and do it, because I'm not going to do it. But anything that I'm capable of doing, yes, I know that it's their job, and yes, I know they're getting paid, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to be out in it. So why should someone else if it's absolutely not necessary? So that is how I do caring and compassion. So a lot has been going on. Like I've said before, I've switched my sister's phone off because, and she, it's with her understanding, because I'm the one here holding the fort. So it is for my sanity, for my peace of mind. So because I know what I'm like. So it is for my sake that I've switched her phone off, so that people who are not of the same mindset, I've just told you how I do service, how I do caring and compassion. The people who are not of that mindset, who are not going to get involved, I don't need to hear from them. I don't need to hear them. I don't need to hear from people telling me, tell her I'm worried about her, because that's not about her, that's about them. We had she didn't say much. It was me doing all the talking really, and her doing all the agreeing. But this is part of the problem as well, not isolated to my sister, with people, because I tire of telling people every time, because I'm in this situation with my sister, it is inevitable that my path is going to cross with other people. I have to deal with other people as a consequence of the situation. So whereas I normally keep myself to myself and I choose who I want to mix with or who I want to have conversation with, I'm not in that position to do this now. So I've cut off that supply by switching her phone off, because for people to be getting in and telling me to tell her that they're thinking about her, they're worried about her, or that kind of nonsense, doesn't actually help the situation. So I could say to the carers, oh, poor you. How is that going to help them? Oh, I feel sorry for you. How is that going to help them? It doesn't. What helps them is if I don't get them to come, if I take over, irrespective of how busy I am. It's not going to kill me to get my sister to do for my sister what they normally come and do in that half an hour. It's not going to kill me to do that. It's called having compassion on others. So that's how I do it. So when I come across as exacting and demanding, as I've said, I'm not asking. In fact, I'm not asking anyone for anything, because nobody has to do anything that they don't want to do. This is life. We all have free will. We can choose what we want to do, but there is no point. Like, I've never told anybody that I love them, or if you need anything at all, let me know. I don't do that, because I know what I'm like. And I'm going, if I've said to you, if you need, whatever it is, if I've said to you, if I say to someone, if you need this thing, let me know. Right? I'm specific. If it is something that I can do for you, and I'm willing to do it, then let me know and I'll do it. So, for example, my mother lives in Kent, and I've already said this. I didn't tell her to live in Kent, so I'm not about to pick up myself anytime soon and go to Kent for anything else, because I believe absolutely in consequences. And I think if you make a choice, like, there are people who've picked themselves up and they live in other parts of the world and they have relatives here in this country that they're worried about. As far as I'm concerned, if you wouldn't have picked yourself up and gone somewhere far away from your relatives, if you cared about them as much as you say you do. So whenever I get into conflict situations with people, which I do frequently because we're not on the same level, it's a matter of, it's a level thing. And so what happens is people always, for whatever the reasons are, and I don't boast and I don't brag and I don't overinflate my sense of self in saying that I don't know anybody on the same level as me. Make of that what you will, but always I will get people who haven't even began climbing the ladder who will try to tell me that there's something wrong with me. Now, I mean, for me, everything is material. Even these videos that I do, they are not for now, they are for later. I put things out there, and of course people listen, people watch, people read what I put out there. But I at the weekend I've been speaking to people, and I said I've been doing things 20 years ahead of the time that I need them for. Right? So I will take my time and I will dig the foundation. I will do whatever I need to do, and nobody needs to know about it. I will only tell people if they are on a certain level. If they're on a level where they can understand, then I may mention it. So there are things, like I've said to people, I don't do family. I've never had a best friend. So for me, I take people as I find them. It is subject to whether we get on or not. And I don't mean that we get on in terms of you agree with everything I say, because I don't respect people who agree with me for the sake of agreeing with me, right? Quite the opposite. I don't have affection for people who bend over backwards to find favor with me, because that's someone, people who do that don't have respect for themselves. I think if, in life there are billions of us on the planet, and if there are only two people that I get on with out of the billions, that's fine. Nobody needs to get on with me. I don't need to get on with anybody. We can just live and just conduct our business however we need to. But at the same time, as I've said in talking about having compassion, if somebody's idea of having compassion is saying nice things to somebody, good for them. That is not my idea. So I'm serving a 30-day Facebook ban for using the word fat and the word ugly in the same post. Now, fat and ugly, I've already done a video on this, are words that you use to describe what you see. Everybody wants to be told they're beautiful. Everybody wants to be told they look good. They look good, even if they don't. I mean, I'm here concealing a multitude. Here's my hair is there. It needs doing and everything, right? um, but obviously visuals matter. I don't mind being seen wearing this. That's fine. It's all good. Um, yeah. So people, why people are happy to be told, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you look fantastic," even though they're wearing. I mean, I didn't even know such things existed. I saw an advert. They were looking for parents who let their children wear Spanx. And I had to go on Facebook and ask somebody what Spanx. And somebody sent me like a video. And this is what women wear underneath their clothes to give them that look. Right? I'm going to be 55 years old next month. I don't need to wear anything on my clothes to give me that look. Right? But at the same time, I don't need anybody to tell me I look fantastic. I don't need, I've said it before, whether you praise me or you criticize me, it's the same difference. I don't live and die by what people say. It's of no significance to me. But what I find with people who these things matter to, I've never used a Facebook filter, for example, or I don't know, these different Instagram or any of them. I just put my pictures out. I may sort of do them black and white or something once in a blue moon, just for, if you like, artistry, just for effect. But it's never to conceal anything. Look, see, no makeup, no nothing. I don't have to sort of do the thing where I try to make myself look. I don't do fake beauty. Even if people were to say to me, "Oh my gosh, you're so ugly," that's fine. Because if I'm ugly, then I'm ugly. If people view me as ugly, then that's fine. I've had people say to me, "You're too skinny, this, that, the other." Too skinny for who? I like myself as I am. For me, that is what's important. I don't wander around telling people you're too fat, you're too ugly, you would look nicer if you do this or that. I merely, the post that I got banned for, I was making a commentary on a video because the woman saying that all women are beautiful without makeup, and I can go and find loads of pictures on the internet. Just go and Google. There are men who've divorced their wives, who are suing their wives for fraud because they look horrendous without makeup. And the guy got the shock of his life when he saw the woman without the makeup. I don't have a problem. What should some would say? Oh, but it's the same woman underneath the makeup. What's the problem? No, it's fraud. It is fraud. Women always say they want a real man, and if they found a man was wearing a toupee or whatever it is that they have out there for men to wear, the woman would you know, the woman and the sisterhood would all sort of condemn the man for fraud. But with women, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So it's sort of like this double standard. So for me, I don't do the be kind thing because I don't need anybody to be kind to me. Right? No, nobody needs to be kind to me. I don't need to be kind to anybody because the kindness is actually helping people. You cannot sustain people who are weak, and weak by the decisions that they've made for themselves, weak as a consequence of their upbringing. You can't sustain them by tiptoeing around them, because eventually something's going to give anyway. It could be something like, I read something, or I saw a post where someone, according to her family, she killed herself because she was disappointed that she didn't get enough likes on her picture, on picture or pictures on Instagram. Now to me, and people will say you're victim blaming, you're cruel, you're heartless. To me, that's weak. I don't know anybody like that. There are certain categories of people that they don't gravitate towards me, or perhaps they might, because a lot of people who are weak like to find, and I have had this actually, but it doesn't stick. So you will get people who are weak through every fault of their own and their upbringing or whatever, and they will try to attach as a parasite to come and feed off, I speak for myself, my energy. I've had this, but because I'm not that type, I don't look at I don't see people who are weak or who are useless or otherwise as that I need to champion them. Whatever it is, whatever situation they find themselves in, that's their consequence. It's a completely different affair if a woman is working as a carer and she's working all the hours that God sends, irrespective of the weather. That is somebody that I will have compassion on, because they're doing something in order to keep their life going, to fund their life. So for somebody who's just sitting there with just an empty life, idle, wanting to get likes, feeling, what's the word? There's a word for it. Low self-esteem, low confidence, because they've bought in to the vanity. It's sort of like we live in this world now, the mass media, where it's all about how you look. Everything's got to be plastic. The more plastic you look, the more beautiful you're considered. If people choose to buy into that, that's you take the consequences that come with it. As you see me as I am, I don't have time for that nonsense. When I do want to look glamorous, I know how to dress. But I don't need to walk around like that. I don't dress up so people can approve of me. But just going back to the conversation I had with the two guys who picked my sister up, I knew that they thought I was a kid, probably even my sister's daughter, because a lot of people mistake me because of my energy and because of the way I dress and because of just how I come across in general. People think I'm a younger person. So when I want to control a situation, I just drop my age on them. So he was fussing. They were very worried for my sister because she wasn't wearing a mask. And I said, you don't need to worry about us. We're all right. So just for effect, I said I went 25 years without needing to see a doctor. We've got everything under control. I said I'm going to be 55 next month, and straight away, because I know how to manipulate people. And when I say manipulate, I don't mean to take advantage of them as some people would do, just to get the conversation in the direction, just to make them, they just to sort of give them confidence that they're not talking to a young person, because people associate youth with inexperience, with lack of knowledge. And I know this because people were telling me whatever they were telling me back in the day. And but they can't get away with telling me that now, even though I hold the same opinion. They can't get away with telling me that, oh, when you're older you learn, because I am older and I still have the same mindset and I still believe what I believe and I still practice the same practices that I practiced then, right? So it was sort of like, it went from treating me like a child almost, frowning upon me almost, to which I'm familiar with, to asking me, oh, so it's your birthday next month, what are you doing for your birthday? Same as what I did last year. I'll probably be, well, obviously I'm here with my sister, so I'm gonna be here, but for my last birthday, that was the day when we entered lockdown. I spent it in bed, right? So for me, it's no big deal. I can do the party thing, I can go clubbing, I can do whatever I like, or I can just be still. So it makes no difference to me. But so basically what he then started to do, he saw that I was somebody of reasonable years. He started trying to chat me up. And it's amazing how people's opinion of you can change just by finding out one small piece of information, right? So that's why I chuck things into the arena sometimes. So sometimes I will chuck the book in, because people assume that you've been to university, that you have had higher education, that you must be super intelligent if you've written a book and managed to get it published, right? And so this is how people judge people based on perceptions. Because I've always been judged according to other people's perception. I'm the queen of manipulating people, because I just need to know what to throw out there and people latch onto it, right? So, like I said, this was all about how to serve, how to have compassion. And as I said, most people like people to go easy on them. I don't like people to go easy on me. Because if you're going easy on me, that means you're encouraging me to be weak. If you cannot meet me at my level, then don't meet me at all. And for me, it's not the thought that counts. The thought doesn't count, right? There's certain, when people say it's a thought that counts, it's about them. It's not about the person they're doing it for. So if you're going, for example, to offer to help, to come and relieve me, I said this in the previous video, to come and relieve me of my duties with my sister, but you're going to bring your child and your pregnant self. Who says my sister wants a child running around her flat, even if your child is well behaved? Who says my sister in her situation wants a child? You should check first to know if it's suitable. But no, you're not going to do that. I'm talking about the kind of service that some people give. You wouldn't do that because you think the fact that you're offering to help, the person should take it anyhow. You give it to them. If we want to go to the Bible, I never understood why God accepted Abel's sacrifice but not Cain's. And then I came to understand, it's the heart that decides. It's what spirit you give it with. So no, it's not the thought that counts. If you were thinking of the other person, you would think about their needs. Right? I've had people say to me, can't if my sister can't come and live with me at my place. No, because it's her place. It's easier for her to be here because she's got her own bedroom and everything. There wouldn't be enough space there, even though my place, is it bigger? Potentially, I'm not quite sure. Irrespective, it's more convenient here because this is her familiar territory. For me to rough it, it's easier because I'm adaptable. But what people don't understand, they don't understand the nature of the work that I do. That when I've got a roll of fabric here, 16.5 meters of fabric, and I'm awaiting measurements. So I can go from 0 to 100 just like that because some things come up. So I've had one customer collect this morning, and I'm expecting 30 cushions from him, but he hasn't got the fabric yet. So that gives me a slight break. But if I've got one customer here and another one there and another one over there, which sometimes I do, and they all want, I can't say, well, could you wait 2 weeks while I finish this? I've got to get everything done around about in the same time frame. So that means I'm going to be sacrificing sleep. It means having to work right around the clock. But obviously, because I'm here in the situation with my sister, her routine remains the same. The carer is going to come at 7 o'clock in the morning. So irrespective of whether I've been to bed or not, I need to be, if I've only had half an hour's sleep, if I've shut down at 6 o'clock or 6:30, and that's the sum total of rest that I've had, I still need to get up at 7, right? So that routine goes on. But people who are not used to serving, people who are not used to working, managing time. All right, like I said, I don't know anybody like me. And this isn't a boast to say I'm so fantastic, I'm unique. I've always walked my own path, even from I was a child. I was never interested in what anybody else was doing. I don't look at other people to say, wow, you're so fantastic, you inspire me, I want to be just like you. I've never done that, not even as a child. I'm only interested in becoming the best person that I can, the best version of myself. So whatever it is that I'm doing, like I said, I'm going to spend the next 2 hours pampering, right? It's not a vanity project. It's just that I'm thinking, it's like if you have a car, if you want to trash the hell out of it, then it's not going to give you as much mileage as if you treat it with care, with loving tenderness, if you like. So that's my body is my vehicle. And I said in the previous video, I have got fantastic health. I am here. I haven't been to the gym or the sauna for the longest time, more than a year and a half, you could even say. And yet I haven't gained any weight. Why? Because I am mindful. I'm not sitting here thinking, my situation's changed. Let me just eat myself silly. Let me just, it doesn't matter. I can always use the excuse of comfort eating if I get fat, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. I have too much respect for myself. So my bottom line is, like I said, I don't do the putting the hand on the shoulder, on your shoulder thing, and oh, because you're useless, and you've invested all your time in vanity, and you've got these people called influencers. Let's just say that the internet, the market, the bottom folds out of the market for influencers. What are they going to do? Right? Have they considered that? I don't think so. Right? So it's how you build your life. For me, and whatever happens, I'm gonna land on my feet because I haven't put down roots. The only roots I will put down are the ones that God present to me and say, all right, here you go. You can plant right here. Right? That is how I live my life. So I am not in a position. I will never be in a position where I'm going to go, oh poo, what do I do now? Right? All things are temporary, and the one thing that people must remember, sometimes God creates situations. I always talk about fairy tales. We were raised on these at school, fairy tales and Aesop's fables. Sometimes one person's misfortune is designed, well, God kills many birds with one stone. It is to judge others. It is how you will respond. I've said I don't go around telling people that I love them, and if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I don't do all of that. I am practical. If somebody needs help, I do it. Right? I am not money centered. So if it's that I need to put my hand in my pocket and spend in order to make the thing happen for that person, then that is what I will do. That's just the nature of things. But I think the further away, and just because you go to church, it doesn't mean that you are connected to God, I must say. And I don't need to go into it because we can see examples of this. Because you go to church, it means sod all, right? So the connection that you have to God, or rather your level of spirituality, will determine your level of intelligence. Not just your level of intelligence, but your ability to grasp what you need to grasp and to let go of what you need to let go of. Right? So this is why I said again in the previous video, I've said it before, I've said it time and time again. I always said I would never buy a house unless I was going to buy it cash. Because when you take out a mortgage, the house doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you until you've made the final mortgage payment. That is when you own the house. I don't do anything that can have consequences that I may not want to deal with. Right? So this is why I have a fantastic life. So going back to the video that I did on Saturday, because I know people come and watch and read and whatever for information. I know this. I don't do it, by the way, because I'm spiritually connected. So what I need to know comes to me by inspiration, or I get pointed in that direction. I don't have to snoop on anyone. But the idea that people, you cannot judge a situation when you don't have the capacity to understand, in my situation, the level that I'm on. I will give an example. I remember once I was decorating my bedroom, and I'm great with color schemes, right? So my color schemes were black, gray, whisper gray to be precise, and white. So I was painting the skirting black, and I had ribbed office carpet gray. This is my bedroom. And then I had the curtains and, I had black borders around the curtains. And it wasn't until I'd completed everything, because while I was in the process of doing the black skirting boards and painting the walls gray, I remember a couple of people saying to me, "What are you doing?" And then when they saw the completed look, yeah, that looks really nice. You see, so as a caution to all those who like to look at people and judge, because believe me, I've just said to you with these guys, I've never met them before, but they judge me that I'm a young person. And so anything that was coming out of my mouth wasn't valid. They were asking me, "Are you coming? Why aren't you dressed?" And And I say I don't go with her. And it's only on when I volunteered that I'm going to be 55 next month that they started to speak to me like an adult, with respect even. So it's the same thing, especially with religious people. Because you cannot, if you need to be spiritual to recognize spirit. Spirit recognizes spirit. It is people who are not spiritually connected who think that they are spiritually connected. Well, when I say spiritually connected, we think they're godly, which is a completely different thing to actually being connected. So these are the people who will look at people like me who don't go to church, for example, and they will look and view my life as failed, because I've had this. For example, I had someone say to me that I'm a failed author, not knowing what the purpose of the book was, what the inspiration of the book was. I'm a failed author. I'm sure there will be people looking at my YouTube channel and saying, the last time I mentioned number of subscribers, I was at 21. I'm now at a whopping 34 subscribers. So I know there are people who look at things, and the value of the thing and is in how much, how big, how much, right? It's about how much money you've got, how much followers you've got, even some people, how much hair you've got, the color of your skin, what shade of, I'm talking black people, how light your skin is, how dark your skin is. It's by what the eye can see, by what you can count up, and so forth. You cannot count up spirituality. You can only know it if you are on that level. You can't know. There are people, I meet complete strangers who understand something of the spiritual. It's something that spirit recognizes spirit, as I say. If you're not spiritual, you are going to judge and you are going to get it wrong. And so, like I've said, as regards switching off my sister's phone, there are people, I've said this in previous videos, her friends who will claim that we are her very, very good friends. We go way back. It's not a matter of how far back you go that determines what kind of a friend you are. It is by how you conduct yourself in that situation. Nobody's, apart from my one friend who came on Saturday, hi Carl, nobody's volunteered to pop over, right? Nobody's come and seen her. So for all the people who claiming, professing, oh, tell her, I give her my love, tell her I'm thinking of her, blah, blah, blah. Where is the expression of this love that you speak of? Like I said, I don't go around telling people I love them and whatever. I will check in with people, and I have enough discernment to work out what their needs are. Even if they don't tell me, I can pick up that there's something lacking, and I will get to the bottom of it. And if it's something that I can help them with, you can be sure I will help them. Often all people need is a pep talk, right? So but if you're not in the position, if you don't have enough about you to be giving people pep talks, you probably drive them further into, if it's depression or whatever, you can drive them further into it as opposed to bring them out. So this video is coming up to 40 minutes. It's the longest one ever, but I think it's necessary. I just think I've said this, everything I do is not for now, it's for later. And it's evidence gathering, right? It's material. But you have to have things documented, written down, recorded, so that, because the talk is cheap, you can always say, oh yeah, I was thinking that, oh yes, that's what I thought. Where is the evidence of it? You see, I have things documented. So when I come with things from 20 years ago, in the book where I talk about various things, I use the example on Saturday where I didn't learn to type as a teenager because I knew I didn't want to work in an office. So obviously, if as a teenager I'm making decisions and I know my own mind, how much more do I know my mind as an almost 55-year-old woman? You see, we're supposed to be learning, we're supposed to be progressing. We don't find a comfortable spot among people we feel comfortable with, who are not going anywhere, and we all gather around and become like them. This is what happens in communities. This is why I don't do the community thing, right? Because it's like-minded people. If I don't have a problem if there are no like-minded people, because I can survive by myself. People, they say no man is an island. I beg to differ. It just depends on your level. So I see this a lot where people just they find a little group, and that's where they feel comfortable, and you go back to them 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, they haven't progressed because they're just comfortable in that small group. I am an explorer. I am very curious about life. I want to know how good I can get as a human being. I want to know, I want to be able to explore myself to the limit, right? So whereas people are worried about this virus, I'm not worried about it. Small things worry people. I don't worry about my health. I don't worry about my life. I just talk to God, sort it out. I said in I think it was a Facebook post or maybe a Facebook Live, I was working with interlining. If I got any lying around, give me a moment. This stuff, look, creates a lot of dust. And I completely forgot that I'm allergic. When I say allergic, this thing gets up my nose, it gets into my system. Completely forgot about that. And I just had a conversation with God and said, I'm here looking after my sister. It's enough that I've given up my life and existing in this environment. It's not acceptable that I should be sick. I worked with interlining again all of last week, making blinds, no sickness, right? So the fact of the matter is, as you develop and you understand things a bit better and you grow closer to God, and at this point, all the religious people who have no clue about God would be rolling their eyes. Believe me, I have fantastic outcomes. My life is, even being here, the only thing that sometimes I don't have is sleep. I don't get to rest, but God in his mercy has made it so that I managed to have the weekend off. I worked Saturday, didn't work yesterday, and I won't need to work today. I don't know, maybe I might get my measurements later, maybe some fabric will come later, I don't know. I could just be back working tomorrow like that, but at least I've got some time out, and I am very grateful for that. But apart from the occasional, well, often being sleep deprived, it's not a problem. Not a problem at all. So I do know, again, this video is long, but like I said, it's necessary. I do know that there are people who rejoice. I talk about this in the book. People rejoice over others when their life has taken a turn for the worse. So for example, with myself, sometimes I say to God, are you serious? It's like, how much more? But I know what he's doing. He's using this to glorify himself. And again, people will roll their eyes. How is this going to glorify God? You know, I've said God likes a showcase. And if you know, there are lots of people who know religious people who will say they're useless. Some will say they're good, but it depends on your level. Some people will say the ones I know are good. Others will say the ones I know are rubbish. But in practical terms, there's a scripture, show me your faith and I will show you my works. I don't know anybody who would do what I'm doing. In fact, not just that, in the position to do it. When people were thinking I'm useless, I'm this and I'm that because of the way I've organized my life, my sister here, when she recovers, she will be the biggest one blowing the trumpet, because she understands, even if she didn't understand then, she understands the practicalities of how I organize my life, that were it not the case that I chose to live alternatively to them and not sign up to the 9 to 5 and whatever else they've got, I wouldn't now be here. So despite the fact that I don't have time for myself necessarily, I wouldn't be in a position where I can be here for the last 7 months. Well, it's coming into 11 months on and off, because I was here before for 6 weeks. when she first got sick, she recovered, and then I came back again, and I've been here 7 months. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I lived the conventional life. So when people who think that just by offering they're doing their duty and offering to come with their child, I would like to see how that would work out. It might work for one night, but I would like to see it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 7 months. It simply wouldn't work because people tend to organize their lives in a selfish way and don't consider, well, when I say in a selfish way, without God. There are things that I could do or could have done years ago, but I don't, and it's not even for looking at other people's lives, how their lives have failed as a consequence for going ahead without God. Doing things the opposite way around, being willful, and then when it goes wrong, asking God. What I do is I am aware of what I could be doing, but I won't do it unless God gives me the green light, because I am the type, as I said with the reaction to the interlining, I make my case, and if I'm justified, then God has to act as a fair judge. If it be the case that I've created the situation for myself, he owes me nothing. But if I've gone to him with my life and I'm allowing him to make things happen for me at the time that they should, in the way they should, if it goes wrong, if there's anything that goes wrong, he's accountable. So even with my sister's situation, I don't, it is between me and God, basically, right? So as I've said to her that your health is between you and God, because somebody said to me it was yesterday, that I'm not praying hard enough. I haven't been praying. It's not my issue. Her health is between her and God. The easiest thing for people to do is pray. Just offer up a few words to whoever they think they're offering up to, and that's it. Their job's done. My thing is, I give moral support. I live the example. I say that I don't do doctors. I have, physical evidence of the thing that I preach. People who know me, people who are not biased, know that I practice what I preach. Therefore, I'm only going to tell you from the perspective of how it works for me. I'm not going to go and, I've heard people who don't even believe in God saying, oh, God will help you. Oh, God will make you. What are you talking about? Have you had this conversation with God? I'm always sort of there, going back and forth with God. And I've not said anything to him about, oh, I know you're going to make her better. I just say, what I say is, well, it's her health. It's between you and her. I know that I've got my life. I know that you've got things planned for me. It's up to you to work it out. But occasionally, sometimes I get a little bit frustrated and I just, so I sort of have my outbursts, and it's like, sorted out, how much longer do I have to put up with this? But as long as I know that God is there, I don't care about anything. And when I say that I don't need people, I genuinely don't need people. I don't. Because, like I said, if we're not on the same level, it's going to be, it's just going to serve to hinder me. It's like I said, with having to switch my sister's phone off and request that, look, people just back off, or whatever it is that they need to do, or even if people claim that they want to help when I know full well that they don't actually. They're just saying it because it's something to say, or it's something they think they should say. I don't mind how people receive how I come across in responding to them or not, because God knows. God is the final judge. He knows people's hearts and minds. So irrespective of how things come out, how things flow, whether people are genuine in the offers that they offer or not, that is between them and God. For me, my job is just to keep doing what I do in the right way. And it is for God to then, like I said, I know the plans that he's got for me. He's taking his time. But at the same time, as long as I know that I'm in the situation that he wants me to be in, I don't know how long he's going to prolong it for, but I do know, like I said to my sister last night, that he's using this situation to judge people. I know this very much. And a lot of people have gone early. They've shown their hands early. My sister can see this herself as well. It will be interesting to see how this is going to pan out, what the final reveal will be. So anyway, I've taken enough time here. I'm going to now go and pamper myself. So I bid you all a fantastic Monday, what remains, and I will see you on the other side. Take care. Goodbye.